Good evening. We begin with breaking news tonight. This is some video of the scene of an officer-involved shooting in the State College borough. The video is just back to our newsroom. Now, the shooting happened just after 2 p.m. on Old Bollesburg Road. Now, schools right in that area were placed on lockdown as a precaution for about 30 minutes.
Our Evan Hinckley was first to arrive on scene. He joins us now live. So, Evan, can you tell us what have you learned about the situation?
Well, John and Amanda, we know at the moment that according to state police and the Center County coroner that one man was pronounced dead at the scene here after an officer-involved shooting. Now, State College police report that they were originally on scene here investigating a missing person this afternoon at the apartment complex at 1013 Old Bollesburg Road here in State College. Now, police say the investigation shows that it happened inside an apartment room. An officer shot a man who was pronounced dead. Now, State College police spoke about where the investigation will go from here.
Pennsylvania State Police are now on the scene and are going to take over this investigation, and that's all we have at this time. There is no threat to the public. Everything has been contained at the scene. I believe it was an officer-involved shooting, so I think the officer did the shooting. There's not an officer shot at this point.
And as you heard, there is no officer shot at this point, but police are still working to investigate what led up to the shooting and what basically precipitated to it. We're still working to find out more information on that. We'll continue to give you updates on that as more information becomes available. But for now, reporting live here in State College, Evan Hinckley, WTAJ News.
From State College this afternoon. Evan, what can you tell us about this case?
Well, good afternoon, Casey. We now know that when 29-year-old Osagie reportedly came after police with a knife before he was ultimately shot and killed, it was not the first time he threatened individuals with a knife. According to court paperwork, back in June of 2013, Osagie threatened a man playing basketball here at Orchard Park in State College. Now, according to court paperwork, Osagie approached the man from behind and demanded the man's basketball. Now, when the man refused, Osagie pulled out a knife and again demanded the ball. Others around the man said it wasn't worth the fight, and Osagie was ultimately given the ball. Now, when police confronted Osagie, he agreed to put his knife on the ground when he was ordered to do so and admitted to pulling out the knife. Osagie pled guilty to several counts of robbery, specifically taking property through force, and he was sentenced to at least 6 months in prison with a maximum of 2 years jail time, along with 5 years probation. Now, as we now know, Osagie was autistic, but in this court report related to this 2013 incident, there was no mention of mental health whatsoever. So again, we'll have more updates on other information related to this 2013 incident tonight at WTAJ News at 5 and 6. But for now, reporting in State College, Evan Hinckley, WTAJ News.
48 days after the fatal shooting of 29-year-old Osagie, District Attorney Bernie Cantorna outlined what they learned, that he was a paranoid schizophrenic who was off his medication, who wrote notes announcing he was going to die and perhaps kill others. A missing persons search for Osagie started the day before the shooting, when Osagie's father got a text message from him, reading in part that there would be trouble with the police in a little bit, and God is dead in this country, and soon I hopefully will be dead also. Bernie Cantorna says when Osagie answered his door to 3 officers, he had a knife in his hand.
In response to being told to drop the knife, Mr. Osagie said, "Shoot me," to which the officer responded, "No, drop the knife."
Officers say when Osagie noticed a taser, he shouted, "No, I want to die," and charged with the knife.
Officer number 1 was in a life or death situation at the time that he fired, and he had no other option but to shoot in defense of himself and officer number 2 at the time that this occurred.
Cantorna says the officer's first bullet hit him in the left shoulder, then 2 hit him in the back while he was falling. The state police say they found no evidence of racial bias.
No police officer, no matter what race or religion, would have responded in the same manner within a matter of seconds to save their own life as well as their partner's life.
The DA says while the officers were justified, he sees a failing in a system that led to this outcome.
And it's also my conclusion, a hard look at our mental health statutes, because it's my personal opinion that we have written the statutes in such a way that ensure that people reach a mental health crisis where they are either suicidal or homicidal before authorities can act.
People in State College held a silent vigil on the Allen Street gate for Osagie, the autistic man who was shot and killed by State College police during a mental health check back in March. The crowd marched and chanted to the MLK Plaza area off of Fraser Street, protesting against the Center County District Attorney Bernie Cantorna's decision not to punish the officer who shot Osagie. Folks at today's march say they want to see change in the county's mental health laws.
There should not be officers with guns coming to a mental health warrant.
Center County Commissioners holding a mental health forum tomorrow at the Center County Courthouse at 6:30. Commissioners will answer questions from the community about mental health laws and listen to suggestions about improving the mental health help in the county.
State College Borough Council held a public meeting Monday night to announce the formation of a task force where anyone can report police bias and discrimination.
We get the outcomes that none of us want, then it's time to look at those processes and procedures. They are not the goal. The right outcome is the goal.
But some locals say they're not happy with just a task force. Many say they want more to be done, including the firing of the officers involved in the shooting and more education and training for police.
My purpose for speaking tonight is to ensure that you know that the community is demanding reform.
Osagie's life mattered to me. His vulnerable Black life mattered.
Council members responded to the community's concerns and agreed with many of their arguments that something needs to change.
Whether use of force, as defined by the training, was followed or not, I don't know. I wasn't there either. But it shouldn't have happened.
But some community members were not satisfied with responses from certain council members, leaving the meeting before it ended during their remarks.
The parents of Osagie told State College Borough Council tonight they still have questions from the results of the investigation and want policy change for mental health and protocol from police.
We're traumatized as a family.
Sylvester and Ayun Osagie were left traumatized after their son Osagie was shot and killed by a State College police officer in March during a 302 mental health warrant. Osagie's mother addressed the State College Borough Council at Monday night's meeting, saying after the district attorney's report and the internal investigation from State College Police, she's surprised officers were not found to be guilty of any wrongdoing.
They said they weren't prepared based on prior knowledge of my son, and that such prior knowledge was shared with the officers who encountered Osagie.
She says that she's also not sure how the investigation showed there was no racial implicit bias by the officers towards her son. Both parents say what they're looking for is local change to help people with mental health issues going forward.
Policies that, would make the police find themselves in a quagmire should really be changed, because obviously the process, the procedures, the policies that are in place certainly failed my son.
A monologue written by a retired Penn State professor, Osagie Remembering, will be read at 3 Dots Art Gallery downtown this Thursday and Friday at 7:30. Donations will be accepted for the Osagie Memorial Foundation. In State College, David Kaplan, WTAJ News.